a moderately successful comedian, an average author, and a terrible actor. And your chance to speak directly with him has arrived. Call 866-969-1969. The phone lines are open. And the Jim Norton Show starts now.
Hi, it's Jim Norton. I was just here. My guest today is Rich Vos, and because he and I are going to lunch with Colin after. Yes. I wanted to clarify. I feel like I need to clarify why I have a guest. I don't want them to think I want Rich's advice or anything, but I do. Rich is a knowledgeable guy. Waiting for some phone calls. I see them, but we don't know what any of them want yet.
Well, do you bring up a topic, or you just
no?
free?
They'll usually call in. Now you can see they're calling in already, but for some reason it takes a while for the screen. Do we know what they want, Eric?
No, they're going through it.
All right, yeah. See, the phones will light up pretty fast.
People tend to wait to call right as the show starts.
Yeah, I know. I should Twitter it out first. Finding my muse. Let's go to Quinn in California. Hopefully it's Colin. We don't have to have lunch with him. Hello.
Hello, Jim. Great to talk with you.
Thank you.
I was just wondering. I've been going through some rough times, and I find it's really hard to find my muse again. I like to write, so do you have any suggestions for finding your muse?
Finding your muse. Do you mean like you can't create? You're trying to be creative and you can't?
Yeah.
I have had blocks too. I find when I'm trying to force myself, I write best off the cuff. Like I'll go on stage with some ideas and work it out and play with it, but I'm not good at making myself create.
Well, here's also for a comic, like when we did Tough Crowd, they would give you a topic, so it was easy to write. So you're trying to figure out, well, what can I write for myself? You know what I mean? And you draw blanks all the time, and it hits you. So when the harder you try, the harder it is. The least you try, then it comes to you. Yeah,
creativity. You know, they talk in 12-step places about wearing life like a loose-fitting garment, and that's kind of how creativity is. It kind of you kind of go with it, and when something hits you, you play with it a little bit, but don't force yourself at gunpoint. Maybe take a few days where you go, fuck this. I'm not going to think of it. If I get an idea, I'll jot it down and look at it later. Okay.
Or you could always go into another profession.
Absolutely, because apparently you're terrible at this.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, buddy. Thanks for the call. Rob in Atlanta, and I think Rich and I will probably both have answers for this. So you wanted to know the worst we've ever offended an audience member?
Yes, sir.
To be honest, we probably don't know it.
I do.
The worst, I've had a couple. I'll just give you a couple of brief ones. One time I did a retarded bit about something. I don't remember what it was. And at the end of the show, a woman who obviously had somebody retarded in her family was very upset about it. And she came up and said, I did not like the bit about retarded people you did. And she said it to the wrong comic. That was very funny. There was another comedian standing there. So she
hilarious.
Said it to the wrong person.
And you agreed with her.
I was like, yeah, it's terrible. And then after I was doing the brokerage one night many years ago, and I was doing a bit on 9/11, and there was a woman who was getting loud with me, and I was about to attack her, and I could see people at her table going like, ugh. Like, please don't. Like, it was a weird pleading with the table in their faces, and I knew that obviously she had something. I wasn't willing to chance it. Like, even though the point I was making, like I was saying to her, but I'm fucking bashing the Muslims or whatever it was, and it was just too painful for her. So that was probably the two.
I had three, but I'll name two, and I don't know if recently I don't know where I was. The table was drunk, this and that, and there was a guy with a patch on his eye. So I had to go after him and ask, what pirate ship he works or whatever. And he lost his eye. He hit a deer. And then I said stuff like, well, does the deer have your eye hanging in his living room? And just whatever.
Right.
And he was drunk, but I could kind of see he was upset. His friends were having fun. And I felt so fucking horrible. After the show, I apologized. I gave him a CD.
Right.
Because you don't want people, you got to know where to draw the line. Like, there was a guy in a wheelchair that I fucked with. Usually you can because they don't want to be looked at any different.
Right.
But this guy was in such a major accident. It was his first night out, and I didn't know. Sometimes you don't know.
Right. Should have went to a play, not a comedy club.
There was a lady sitting in the audience at Good Nights, and I'm looking at her, and all of a sudden she's sitting with this gay guy. He was so out of the closet gay, you could not know he wasn't gay.
Yeah.
And she's holding a pillow on her chest. And I said, why are you holding a pillow? I didn't know. She said I had a double mastectomy, right? Is that what it's called?
Yes, a mastectomy.
No, it isn't. Is it
That's what the woman says when they get divorced.
Oh. But what is it called when they have a double?
Say it again? You're close.
Mastectomy? Is it mastectomy?
Yes.
I know it isn't because you're saying yes.
Mastectomy.
Mastectomy.
Double mastectomy.
Okay. So I said, why do you have a pill? She had a double mastectomy.
Write those down, by the way.
I go, well, at least the guy you're with doesn't care. Because he was told.
That's pretty funny, man.
Which got me out of it.
Yeah.
You don't go on stage to upset somebody. Sometimes if they do, fuck it. Do some research. Know who you're going to see.
Thanks for the call, Rob. Appreciate it. Bart in Pennsylvania. A question about Penn State.
Hey, Jimmy and Rich.
Hi, buddy.
Hi.
Hey, I'm going to see you both guys. Rich, I'm going to see you this weekend up in Harrisburg, and Jimmy, I'm going to see you up in Lancaster.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yep. I was wondering, Jimmy, since the Free Report, they've basically said it's all circumstantial evidence. Have you changed your mind about the Penn State scandal at all?
No. I'll tell you why. Because in those cases, in most pedophilia cases, I'm sure I think it's very rare, especially when it's been a long time, that you're going to have anything but circumstantial evidence. Like, since there's no video or confession or physical evidence, it's not like you're going to find semen like you would on a body or on a rape victim. I mean, how many pedophilia cases are not necessarily circumstantial?
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be honest, dude. Sandusky convinced me more than anything. Like when he admitted that we were horse playing in the shower and his creepy answers, he convinced me that he was guilty by what he said. I just felt that he was completely inappropriate. And you don't fucking play naked with a boy in the shower. I just don't buy it.
I think everybody involved. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I mean, that's indisputable that he did that pretty much. But you attacked Penn State as a whole and Joe Paterno. I was wondering if you changed your mind about that.
No, not at all. I attacked them because they did nothing when they could have done something. Like Penn State looked at, you know how like a player will do something and the team looks at the bigger picture, which is the sport or the organization over his offense. They chose their institution and their reputation over stopping everything and really, really doing the right thing. So no, I think Joe Paterno, I'm sure he's a good man overall, and I'm sure his legacy is he was a good man, but he did not handle this right. And this is a big one. This is not cheating on a final or taking funds for a new sports car. This is an active molestation of kids and a lot of allegations. So I thought they all handled it despicably and got what they deserved.
Well, I mean, I don't know in depth about the case like you do. I think Paterno is, if you see it happening and you don't report it, you're just as much to blame.
Right.
But I don't think the school knew what was going on and covered it.
Oh, yes, they did.
They knew what was going on.
Absolutely. And they they did bare minimum shit, so maybe you can't charge them criminally but I believe that they knew a lot more, and that's why a lot of their heads have rolled. You know how hard it is for Joe Paterno to get fucking fired? Like, you know how hard it is? Dude, this is another reason I didn't change my mind. Do you know how thoroughly Penn State had to investigate this stuff before they fired Joe Paterno?
They didn't investigate at all. They just fired him. Nah,
I don't buy that. I don't buy that because the guy's a legend, and it looks terrible to fire him because that's an admission.
ESPN runs a monopoly on sports, and all week, all they talked about is Joe Paterno going to be fired? That's all they did. And then that week, without any investigation, all it was Sandusky was just arrested, and then they fired him. But Joe Paterno also did tell his athletic director, and he told the cops. So I don't know why you guys are saying he didn't report, because he did report.
He didn't when he was supposed to. I don't remember all the details of the case, but I wouldn't have hated him so much if he had done the right thing. I disliked Paterno and the organization because they did the wrong thing. That's why I don't like them. That's why I mean, Sandusky is Sandusky. But no, to answer your question, buddy, my feelings have not at all changed about it.
All right.
Not at it. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much. I'm glad to see you guys.
All right, buddy. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Wait, hold on. Before we take a call, I want to ask you something.
Sure.
Well, he just said Paterno called the cops. What, 5 years later, 10 years later?
I can't pretend I remember all the details, but it was something that wasn't timely, and he still had access to the university, all this shit. But but if you drop a racial epithet, they fucking distance themselves.
But no, right then, if you walk in to a shower, see your assistant coach banging a kid, right then you put a stop to it. There's no waiting. There's
Well, he didn't see it. It was McQuarrie saw it, and he reported it. He didn't see him banging. He heard a slapping sound, and then he saw them naked in the shower. Like, he didn't see it, actual fucking. But he did report what he saw. But I think he went to Paterno with it, because again, Paterno is a god there. Let's see here. How about Tony in Virginia has a question?
I can't.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Good, buddy. Thanks for calling.
Good. My wife would like me to figure out a way to go just a little bit longer for her.
Okay, how long can you have sex for?
7 to 10.
That's good. Voss is very impressed.
Yeah, I'm just looking to go, I want to go 10 to 15. She takes longer than I do.
Let me ask you a question.
Eat
now.
her pussy first.
Yeah, eat her pussy first. Or when you jerk off, do you just masturbate and then come?
Yeah.
Do you edge?
What's that?
Edging is when it's a way, and it's what makes it hard for me to come because I've been doing it for so many years obsessively. It's when you jerk off, you get close, and you slow down and you stop, and you get to the edge and you go back, and you don't go to the point of no return.
Yeah.
You go to the edge and stop. You go to the edge and stop. And what that tends to do is it gives you a bit more, motherfucker, cocksucker. Did I lose the call?
No, he's still there.
Oh, sorry, buddy. I hit the wrong button on the computer because it said to X something out and I lost every call. So hold on, guys. Don't go anywhere. But no, I find edging has, thank you, Iraq. Edging has been very helpful in that department. So jerk off and then back up, and that will help you.
Do that.
Yeah, try it, man. And when you're fucking, just pull out a little bit before you get to that point. It's hard, but it's worth it.
I'll tell you two things. One, when I jerk off sometimes because I can't get really hard, I've come semi-hard.
Oh, dude, I've come totally soft. Yes.
It's embarrassing. And two, like they say, think of something else. One time I was trying to think of my grandmother, and I came like a jackrabbit. I got more excited thinking about that tight, old, wrinkled pussy in front of my face. Nothing.
I understood it.
Nothing.
But, yeah, dude, that's actually, you know what you try? Me and Rich talked about Cialis before. Take a Viagra or a Cialis if your health can handle it, because they make it harder for you to come. It's harder to blow a load on Viagra.
I think, because I take high blood pressure medicine, I think that's fucking with my...
Without a doubt.
Making me come quicker.
And it's also fucking with your erections, too, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Blood thinner. All right, thank you, buddy. Good luck.
You got to eat pussy before.
Without a doubt, man.
Make sure she comes by eating her pussy, then the pressure is taken off.
It's taken off. Or stop and then eat her pussy while you're doing it. Mike in Boston, now I'm imagining you're joking with this question. What do we think about tranny porn?
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing?
I'm good, Mike.
Ross, you silly goose. So I'm really into it. I just don't know what it is about that I enjoy. I do enjoy tranny porn, but I don't get turned on so much as to when, the man is performing on the tranny. It's more like when you just treated as a woman. I just wanted to see what that was about. I guess I don't understand why I enjoy it.
Yeah, well, did you actually ask me that, or did I just think it? I definitely understand the question. Like, what does that make me if I enjoy transsexual porn? Does that make me bisexual? Right. Does that make me gay? Right. Does that make me just perverted because something is different? I don't know. I mean, I know it's not about being gay at all, because there is something about the feminine part that I like. It's really weird. Exactly. I don't know exactly the answer to that question.
I'll tell you the answer. People, you're infatuated with like prisons, the dark, things that you're not, it's not your norm. You'll see a prison documentary. Right. You can't stop watching it because it's intriguing. Anything that's not the norm to you is intriguing, so you're going to be infatuated with it.
It may be that because it's different. Like, have you gone through a run of sexual behavior, like masturbating for years and watching porn for years?
Hell yeah, definitely.
So maybe it's a progression. It's like when you first start out drinking, it's 2 beers, but 10 years down the road, it's a case and a half and some whiskey. So and this is not to say that transsexuals you're just a part of an addiction and you're freaks and you're 10 years of addiction, then you're a turn on. But if that's how you get into different kinds of porn, I think, is that you get more and more extreme and more away from what is considered the norm, or maybe that's just your natural sexuality, and it's taken quite a while for you to get to that point of finding it. It could be that too.
Man, I mean, I'm 20 years old. I guess I got a little. I mean, that's still obviously young, but I guess I'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, dude, whatever it is, who cares? Like, I've stopped caring. Like, I don't worry about it. I give a fuck. People,
Right.
well, what does that make me? Who gives a shit?
Right, I fucking admire that. You don't give a shit, you know, you just say, fuck everybody. I enjoy it. I love you joke around. And Anthony made the comment earlier, well, you know, why don't you let everybody know that you're gay? You know, bust your balls about you being gay.
Yeah.
Gay, you know?
If I was gay, I would come out and say it. I really would. I would absolutely say it. And I almost wish I was because it would be easier. But I'm not.
Right.
I love women, and that's who I will always want to date and be with. They're irritating. Thanks for the call, buddy.
I fucking hate women.
Thanks, Jimmy. Love you guys.
Yeah, I love you too. I appreciate it. I joke around about stuff because, you know, there's truth in humor. And sometimes humor is just humor. Sometimes, you know, a cigar is just a cigar, even if it's under a dress. But, you know, you don't... I'm single. I have no children. So I'm also allowed to say certain things a lot of you married guys can't say. I'm lucky. And I'm a comedian. I'm not an accountant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was an accountant, I couldn't just walk into the office and go, you fucking, Jesus Christ, you see Bailey J? Oh, you know, they'd be like, what? But as a comic, you get a lot of fucking
Well, also,
leeway.
too, transsexual, you know, if you're attracted to that, you don't feel as gay as if you were attracted to just a straight naked guy. You're going, well, you know what? She's pretty, and
I know what you're saying, but I don't think it's just a diversionary thing. Like, I don't think that thinking tranny porn can be hot is the same as going, well, I really want a guy, but this is easier for me to, no pun intended, but easier to swallow, or this is more palatable for me. I think it's just a different thing. And I've thought about this a lot. I think it's a totally different thing. The energy is different. The way I look at them is much different than the way I look at a man.
I think it would be a lot easier to make out with a hot tranny than just a straight gay guy.
Oh my God. I think that one could be something hot and one is something I would never want to do.
Yeah. I mean, you could blow either one of them, but making out.
Yeah, preaching to the choir. All right, let's see. Could not get too big of fruits on the show than Vos and I. Let's see here. How about, John in New Mexico has a question.
Mr. Norton?
Hi, buddy.
Holy, I can't believe I'm talking to you, man. That's crazy. That's
Thank
cool.
you for calling.
Love you guys so much.
Thank you.
You guys are really awesome. I love the show. I've been listening for years. And, oh, man, my life is a fustercluck. And by the way, did you say that, did you just use the phrase easier to swallow when you were talking about
but I did say no pun intended, and I also said more palatable, two mouth and throat things. I caught myself, believe me.
So I dated this broad for 6 years. We the relationship started crazy. We worked together, and she was married at the time. Her husband almost stabbed me. I was trapped in a bathroom, holding the bathroom door closed. He's 6'4". I'm like 5'7".
Yeah, you got to watch the married ones. Stay away from them, man.
Yeah. It's been a long, rough road, man.
Sure.
Been through a lot, and about last October, I want to say she moved into my apartment complex because, you know, the whole fear of commitment thing. And it's like, well, no, why don't you move into the apartment complex? It's kind of like living together, but
right, sure.
We're both really nut cases. And basically now we've gone through this breakup, and she wants nothing to do with me, but she's like 30 feet away, man. Like, I can't really, like, how do I get out from under this? My lease is up this month, which will help, but it's just a jacked up situation, especially if I were to see a guy going in her house.
Oh, dude, of course. How long have you been broken up?
3 weeks.
Okay, so you're in a place where you're normal to feel awful. Like you'd be a psychopath if you weren't affected by this. So this is the process that you go through. Luckily, your lease is up. So you have to realize, somebody saved me one time, a woman who was giving me a massage who I would jerk off with. And she said one of the most profound things about relationships. She said, when I get into a relationship, what I have to realize is that no matter what, I'm going to get hurt. And I'm going to get hurt either A, because we break up, or B, because we stay together forever and that person dies. I'm going to be hurt. Once I accept that, I can walk into a relationship. So you're just going through the part where you have to be hurt. Maybe it's better you lose this girl and you move on. It's painful now, but what you do, find a new place.
No.
You don't think so? Rich doesn't agree.
Here's two things. How long did you go out with her
6
for?
years.
6 years. So it usually takes a month, a year to get through things.
No, that's too long.
Well, it's 6 months. That's what the doctor says, what therapists say.
I know.
Wherever you go, you're taking your feelings with you. Okay. Whether you relocate, your feelings are still going to be there for her. Whether it be a mile away, 5 miles away, 10. You're okay. You just have to work through it. Whether, I'm a drug addict in New York City or I'm a drug addict in the woods. Okay. So, yes
well,
and no.
real quick, just to interject, part of the craziness that I'm dealing with right now is like I can't stop walking by her house.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is why I don't agree with Rich. I understand what he's saying. It's not a stupid advice. Wherever I went, there I was. That's the absolute truth.
But he can't stop walking by her house. When he moves, he won't be able to stop driving by her house.
I think he can. And I tell you, if you lived in a house and she lived in the same neighborhood, I wouldn't say sell your house and abandon your responsibilities. But you're in a position where, luckily for you, the timing works out where your lease is up. And you can get away from this situation and just find a new place. This way you won't have... A lot of people get divorced. Yeah. They sell the house. They move into new... You don't want to put yourself in a position... Because, dude, I've been broken up with girls for years. And if I had to look across and see a guy walking in, I wouldn't kill them, but I'd be jealous.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right about that. But then You're right.
Yeah.
You avoid... you don't have kids, so it's a clean break. You can get the fuck out.
Well,
here's what I'm saying. You can get the fuck out, but realize this. Wherever you go, it still takes time to work through the feelings. That's basically it.
And I don't think that by moving, because literally the lease just happens to be up. And I think the timing of this works out well for you, because it's also rare in a relationship that both people live in the same apartment complex. Normally this comes up where one person has to move out. So normally when people move out on each other, they don't live 3 doors down. You're in a really unique situation where you're both independent and yet forced to be together. This is why coworkers aren't allowed to date in most places, because they break up and they have to see each other, and then one guy comes back with a fucking machine gun.
And
That's why.
This is mean to say too. It's when you're dating a girl that leaves her husband, there's red flags right there. There's red flags, because if she did it once, you got to realize, hey, that was her husband. I'm just her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to realize, whatever. You'll just get through it. Believe me, here's the thing. You're going to get through it. That's all. I guarantee you'll get through it.
You will.
That's it.
All right, buddy?
Hey, you guys are awesome.
Thank you for the call. And man, you find a new place, man. You'll be okay. Just don't do anything stupid. Just really don't do anything stupid. It'll be okay. I promise you. And before we get to Kevin in New Jersey, who has a question about his wife, because, Kevin's question, and we're not going to get to you yet, Kevin, because you're saying, how do I get my wife to have sex? I mean, the important thing is, because if you ask any girl or any woman, like, what's the best gift she ever got? Obviously, audio from the Jim Norton show. But aside from that, she's going to say, without hesitation, without even thinking about it, she's probably going to say her engagement ring or a cock ring for her husband if he's in his 50s and struggling with his erections.
Do they work?
Oh, yes, they do.
Can you show me how to do it?
You bet I can. I put it on with my lips. It's so important. It's not just a ring, not just a sign of affection. It's everything to her. Every time she looks down at her finger, whether she's picking up the tomatoes because you've blackened her eye because supper was late, or she's fingering your dirty asshole, every time she looks at that finger, every time she washes your fecal matter off her fingers, she's going to look at that ring finger and she's going to think, wow, this guy loves me. He bought me an amazing ring. You're going to get credit for it every time. So it's got to be perfect. And Steven Singer understands that, being an ass fingerer and a salad maker. At Steven Singer Jewelers, they have the perfect system to make sure that you get the perfect ring. Steven knows how important this is, and it is absolutely painless. Many of our guys here on the show, Opie, Sam, and I think even Iraq, have made the trip down to Steven Singer. What are you waiting for? Like, we sell this stuff, but we also believe in it. Go online to IHateStevenSinger.com or head to the store at the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philly. If you're one of these fucking wackos like Ted Kaczynski who hates technology, maybe you're the Unabomber. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're mailing packages to people to kill them and you don't like technology, so you're an in-person guy, which means you're not hearing this. You go to the other corner of 8th and Walnut. With Steven's 100% money-back guarantee, you're going to get the best service, best value, and best experience. This is honestly a guy you can trust. He's a creep, but we like him very much because he's trustworthy and his stuff is actually really, really good. And it's the most important gift you're ever going to give. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, or on the phone at 1-888-I-HATE-STEVEN-SINGER, or of course, IHateStevenSinger.com. And yes, Kevin Kevin Leave, huh? Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe I answered his question. See that? This is how good.
Get her a ring.
I said, get her a ring. He's like, how do I get my wife to have sex? Probably the fucking ring thing. Did we remember the ass fingering? All right. Let's see. Oh, is that him again? No. A different guy trying to get his wife. Okay, let's talk to Andrew in New Jersey. Very good question.
Hey, how you doing, Jimmy?
Hi.
What's up, Rich?
Hey.
My problem is going through 12-step meetings and programs. The higher power aspect seems to really revolve around a Christian-based...
A deity, yeah.
Yeah, they say it's a God of your understanding.
Yes.
But if you've been in the meetings, you know that they always say the Christian prayers. It never seems to deviate from it being Christian. What you see, we have similar tastes in music, and I always seem to see that has a similar personality amongst people. What do you, if you're allowed to talk about
Sure, of course.
Personally, what do you use?
I have
a hard time with the whole Jesus and God. And
me too.
And that.
Me too.
What is it that you actually use in your life?
When I started, again, I was 18. There was the deity. It was God. It wasn't necessarily Jesus, but it was. I would pray, and it is when you look at 12-step programs, the way they are worded, it does have some religious connotation. But again, that was the time it was written in. Like when you look back at the Constitution or any of these things, a lot of things written X amount of years ago have a certain religious thing because they weren't so obsessed with getting religion out of everything. So there's certain moments, or a certain tone you have to take with a grain of salt. And I say that because when you look at the 12 steps or any type of program like that, the guts of what they're saying, which is these flawed personalities we have, are genius. The genius of figuring out every fucking loophole I ever thought existed, those fucking 12 steps have covered. So I accept the fact that, okay, some of the God stuff might be a little hard and I may have to find my own way. I used God, like the God that we, God, for many years. I would just kind of pray, and then it became harder and harder for me. So now it's something I'm just not sure of. Like when I kind of still pray in my head out loud about help me or whatever, but I don't even know who I'm talking to. I just think that there's something I'm talking to, and I don't know what. So I'm kind of at a little bit of a crossroads with that. So I don't have a great answer for you.
Well, and here's the thing: the disease of alcoholism and drug addiction will find anything wrong or anything that will get you back out to drink or get high. So you're going, well, I can't handle this God thing or this Christian thing. This is bullshit. I'm not coming back. Or what it is you just work around it because the disease is so powerful. It's not really, it's the disease telling you you don't want to deal with the Christian thing, because you can go in there. When they used to do the Lord's Prayer at the end, sometimes I wouldn't even do it. I would go to the bathroom, or I wouldn't say it, or whatever. But I know one thing. I try to carry a message, and I try to hear a message. And the bottom line is, if you're helping somebody, you're not drinking, all the other stuff is kind of bullshit.
Yep.
If you're helping somebody, and you see what I'm saying, that's all. There's someone in the media you're not going to like. There's going to be this. That's all disease talking to you. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense, because there have been times where at the end they do the Lord's Prayer, and I know it from being raised Catholic, and I'll just stop saying it thinking, I don't believe this. I look around the room to try to see anyone else, and I'll see a handful of people kind of just, wandering around. But what you just said, it makes complete sense. It's kind of one of those, you don't have to buy into the whole thing as long as what you're doing works.
Yeah. Well, also be careful of that, though, in the sense that what Rich is not saying is don't start avoiding certain things in the steps that are unpleasant. Just be careful you don't leave yourself that... Because, we alcoholics leave loopholes. Like, it's not take what you need and leave the rest. They say that, but like when it comes to the steps are pretty complete. Not that I fucking practice them all the time, but I mean...
I don't know if I ever written them all out.
Just be careful that you don't, start avoiding things just because they're unpleasant or you don't want to dig too deep, okay?
Okay.
All right, but we all find our own way with that. But that's something I think a lot of us do struggle with. I envy people that just have absolute faith. I envy that. I don't.
Yeah, it seems so strange to me, especially in speaker meetings, when you hear people talk and they're up there and their story, you're right with them, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, and God took my disease away. And now
But you know what, dude? Honestly, they mean that, and they feel that, and I don't doubt their sincerity. And you know what? The fact is, there is one truth, and I really could not stop doing this on my own. I left to my own devices. I self-destruct every time, and with the group, with the people in the meetings, I was able to stop, and I got everything they told me I would get. My entire life is because of being sober. I really mean that. Everything they fucking promised me, I got. So there was a lot of truth in what they said.
And people also can have faith without believing in God. You
Absolutely.
could have faith in, you know, my higher power, Joseph A. Bank, who I pray to, because you can buy one suit and get 12 free. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you don't pick up, you don't drink a day at a time, you help somebody, and everything can fall in place.
Thanks, buddy.
Awesome, thanks, guys.
Good luck, you heathen fuck. All right. Jody in Canada.
What's up there, Jim? How you doing?
Well, just talking to somebody who was doomed. How are you?
Not too bad. I just got a quick question. Me and my fiance of 4 years, I'm surprised I'm through the lines, by the way, but me and my fiance of 4 years, we had just recently had our second boy, and right now, I know, see, it's good, it's awesome, but right now I'm sort of looking at her as a mother rather than the sex object that I looked at her 4 years prior. We have two boys together, but she's fucking, I'm trying to, sorting shit out here, but I don't know what the fuck's going on. What's going on?
I've heard that for many years. Rich is much more qualified to answer this question because you've been married and you've had kids with two women.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the beginning, yeah, because the kid is so involved. The mom is so involved with the kid that
Hold on, we're going to disconnect you, buddy, because your phone is making noise. We appreciate the call and just try to listen after, okay? Because the phone was acting all weird.
I never really had. I could see the mom being so affected, and breastfeeding and everything too. So. And plus they gain a little weight, it takes time, and then you just get back into the swing of things. You put another human into your house, you know what I mean? So, and it's taken up so much time that I don't know.
Is it harder for you to want to, like after your first wife and now Bonnie, is it harder for you to want to fuck after they become a mother, or did that not affect you?
It didn't affect me at all. The kid watches, everybody's involved. No, it didn't affect me.
Okay.
I mean, to me, sex slowed down just because of my age, but that never affected me because they were a mom. No, I never got that.
So the guy who's having this issue, because I do hear a lot of guys that have this.
People do have it.
It's called like Madonna whore, and a lot of times we want the perfect woman at home to take care of the kids and be the wife, and then the pig on the side. Maybe you could try something different with her sexually. Sometimes when you're with somebody for a while, and this happens to people who are just long-term relationships, you start to find something they'll say will just be dirty and sexy and right, and all of a sudden you begin to go off into that area, or that weird that kind of fetish thing. Like I was with one girl and she was talking about something, and she was talking about a guy's cock being huge. I was so threatened by it and fucking hurt the relationship. And then when the next girl talked about it, all of a sudden the fucking veil came off.
Are you kidding?
I was so turned on, and every time I fucked her, I'd make her tell me. So I took something that used to hurt me and I let it be dirty. So maybe you can try another tact with your wife to find something sexy that you didn't find before, even if it's not that.
Well, when I used to, when my wife makes up stories and tells me about her college professor, are you kidding me? I get,
yeah, it turns you on.
Are you crazy? It's insane.
Yeah, we need something.
Insane.
Oh, we only have 2 minutes left. Let's do Steve in Philly. He found out his wife is fooling around. Hi, Steve.
Ugh.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I was just calling to get your advice. About 2 months ago, I found out that my wife was messing around with somebody. I guess he used to come into her work and continuously hitting on her, so on and so forth.
How long you married?
13 years.
Do you have kids?
No, we don't have any kids together. This is both our second marriage.
Okay.
And about three and a half years ago, I started my own business, and I've been working a lot. I mean, even sometimes I'm not even getting home till 9, 10 o'clock at night, because of work and everything, just trying to, build my business and, become successful and everything. And apparently she was, finally texted this guy, and they were texting back and forth for a week, and she went over to his house, and I pretty much found out about it right away.
How'd you catch her?
She told me she was at a friend's house, and the one day before she had off from work, and I came home from work, and she was all spiffied up in a dress and everything. And she, that's not her. So I was right away I got that feeling, and then 2 days later, then she didn't come home till 9:30, and I'm like, you weren't at a friend's house, you were with somebody, and.
Okay, you just knew, yeah. I did not to interrupt you, but we are running very much out of time. So tell me exactly what is your question. Not that we want to cut you off. We actually want to just get your question.
I understand. Yeah. Then she said, oh, well, I don't really know what I want. And then the next day she was like, I need to work it out with you, and I want to be with you. So, she's been trying that for the last 2 months, but I'm still kind of on the fence whether I should still stick around there or if I should, bail.
I would suggest, I can't answer that, but I would suggest the same thing I've said to many people. Couples therapy can help. And again, maybe it will help both of you. It's easy to go, fuck her, just leave her. But sometimes people are unfaithful, and then the relationship can survive it, and you can move on and have a great marriage. So my suggestion would be couples therapy, unless you're sure you want to get out. If you're not sure, give couples therapy a shot, okay?
Okay.
All right, and I'm sorry we're out of time. I appreciate Vos sitting in, and we're up against the clock here. But thank you to Rich.
That was fun. Thank you for having me.
No, of course, man. And Rich will be. Where are you this weekend?
I'm in Harrisburg at 2nd Street Comedy Club this Friday and Saturday.
And Vos's and Bonnie's hilarious podcast, My Wife Hates Me. You can get that. And this weekend I will also be. I'll be in Lancaster next weekend, October 18, 19, at Stitches Comedy Club, working on material. October 25 and 26 in Rochester at the Comedy Club. Thank you guys very much.
Jim Norton is now done dealing with your bullshit. He'll be back next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. But you can listen to episodes of The Jim Norton Show whenever you want. Go to SiriusXM.com/on-demand for details.